Hi folks, so in this video I want to talk to you a little bit about behavior and behavioral expectations in the classroom. And one of the ways that we're going to look at behavior is by breaking it down into different tiers. We all know that there are different severities of breaking the rules and expectations of the classroom, and we want to rank each one according to which types of infractions are minor infractions and which types of infractions are major infractions that require involving the administration. So tier 1 behavioral infractions are those things that, are just small disruptions in the classroom. So let's go through each one of these things and talk about what are tier 1 infractions that would be worthy of receiving just a verbal warning from the teacher. So the first one is interrupting. The teacher should be able to talk without worrying about students interrupting them. And this is true both when the teacher is giving lectures and when the teacher is having a conversation with another student. You should wait your turn. Don't interrupt the teacher. The second one is talking out of turn. If you want to talk, you should raise your hand and wait to be called on by the teacher. You shouldn't just speak out in the middle of the class. You also shouldn't talk across the classroom. If you need to have a conversation with someone, you need to wait for the appropriate time, and then you need to get out of your desk and walk over to that person's desk and hold a conversation. You shouldn't try to have a conversation across the classroom. The next one is being distracted or off task. We really expect you to pay attention during class 100% of the time. And if you're distracted or you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing, then you're not learning. And learning is the focus of the classroom, so we expect you to be focused and on task all the time. Next is entering the class in a disruptive manner. Now, sometimes the teacher may ask you to step outside of the class and re-enter the class in the appropriate way, but sometimes the teacher may just give you a verbal warning for this. Lastly is missing work or materials. The first time or first 2 times that you forget your notebook or you forget your book is understandable, but once it becomes a habit, then the escalation is going to go from a tier 1 to something higher. So those are the type of tier 1 behavioral infractions that would get you a verbal warning from the teacher. Let's take a look at tier 2. Tier 2 infractions are things that would be worthy of a parent email. And let's take a look at what some of these are. So the first one is repeatedly missing work or materials. Missing work or forgetting your notebook one time is no big deal. The teacher will just remind you to bring it next time. But if it happens more than once and it starts to become a habit, the teacher's going to send an email home, not just to punish you, but so that your parents are involved in helping you to remember those things. Next is being on any website not for school. Coming into the classroom, you should already have all windows, tabs, and spaces that aren't for school closed. If you're caught being on a website that you're not supposed to be on during class time, that's worthy of a parent email. Next is turning in work on Google Classroom that is not actually done. Teachers understand that sometimes you're in a hurry, or maybe you didn't complete an assignment but you needed to get it in by the due date. That's okay. But if it looks like you're turning in work in order to avoid accountability, so it appears to the teacher that you did the work when you didn't, or it appears to your parents that you did the work on your to-do list when you didn't really do it, that's a tier 2 infraction, and that would be worthy of a parent email. Lastly is talking down to your classmates, even if you're just joking. It's not appropriate in the classroom to ever call your classmates stupid or dumb or call them names in any shape, form, or fashion. We mean this. Even as a joke, it's not okay in the classroom. The classroom should be a professional environment where you show your best self, not a place for you to tear other people down. It's important that we create a supportive culture in the classroom. So if you're tearing down another person, that really disrupts the culture of the classroom, and that would be another tier 2 violation. Now that we know what type of behavioral infractions are tier 2 violations that would be worthy of a parent email, let's take a look at tier 3 violations, which are much more serious violations. These are real danger zones. These are things that students should absolutely never be caught doing. The first one is cheating. You should never cheat on anything. That means don't cheat on tests and don't cheat on your homework. Even if you're copying somebody else's homework just so that you get it done before class, that's cheating, and it's a violation of academic honesty standards. The next one is plagiarizing. We're going to talk a little bit more about what plagiarizing is because a lot of students are a little bit unclear about it. But just to give you a quick definition, it's any time you take somebody else's work without giving them direct credit for it. Next is harassing other students, and that means online or in person. If you're in a chat like a Google chat with the rest of your classmates and you start calling somebody names, that other person may screenshot or save that chat and bring it to the teacher, and you'd be in big trouble. We don't tolerate harassment or bullying. In no way should you ever tear someone down for the way they dress, the way they talk, or the way they act in any way. It's important that the classroom is a place where everybody can feel comfortable and safe and ready to learn. Next is playing video games or watching videos during class time. You already know that you shouldn't have any other tabs or windows open. So if you're playing a game or watching a video, you know that you've gone past just violating the standard of not having a window open, and you're actually doing something that is strictly not permitted in the classroom. If you want to watch videos or anime or play video games during the breaks, that's okay. But before you walk in the classroom, you close those tabs and windows. And during the class, under no circumstance are you to pick up those videos or those games again. So these are the Tier 3 behavior infractions that could result in an administrative referral where you would have to meet with the principal or vice principal or a parent meeting. We hold our students to a high standard of behavior and character. We believe that you can live up to these rules. If somebody is harassing you or using inappropriate language towards you in a chat, report it immediately. Remember, there are kid problems and there are adult problems. When you're being harassed, that's when a problem elevates from being a kid problem to being an adult problem, where you need to get a teacher involved. Be extremely cautious of plagiarism. Anytime you write down or copy something word for word from another source, it must be in quotes with the source credited. If it is not, it is plagiarism. We take plagiarism very seriously at this school. Just to make sure you're clear on what plagiarism is, we're going to watch a short video defining the term, and then we'll be back in just a moment.
Whether you're in the academic, creative, or professional world, plagiarism is all too common. But what is it exactly? According to the Oxford Dictionary, plagiarism is the practice of taking someone else's work or ideas and passing them off as one's own. Let's say you're writing something for the company newsletter, and you find a great article online that's full of useful information. So you take several parts of that article, change a few words around, and submit it without giving credit to the original author. That's plagiarism, and it can lead to serious consequences. In school, taking credit for someone else's work could mean you fail an assignment or class, or face disciplinary action. In the workplace, it could result in damage to your reputation, legal repercussions, or even losing your job. Even if you accidentally do it, such as forgetting to cite a source or misquoting someone, it can quickly get you in trouble. Luckily, we know a few strategies that'll help you avoid plagiarism. First, always cite your sources. Showing where you found your information gives credit to the original authors and helps reinforce the legitimacy of your content. If you're quoting from a source, always quote the source's exact words. When inserting one into your work, place quotation marks around it and be sure to include the author's name in the same sentence. When you want to discuss information from a source without quoting it directly, it's important you rewrite that information in your own words. Along with citing the source, use different language and sentence structures, and explore the source's ideas from your own perspective. This strategy can help you say something new, original, and plagiarism-free. Plagiarism can seem like an easy shortcut that'll save you time and effort, but it will only hurt you in the long run. Be clear and upfront about where you get your information, and you'll be free to create original content you can be proud of.
If you have any other questions about what plagiarism is or how to avoid it, please talk to your teacher. Now that we understand the different behavioral expectations in the classroom and the levels of behavioral infractions and their potential consequences, our next video will be about using technology ethically and effectively.